Hi guys, it's Danny. Okay, so today we're going to discuss about orchids that suffer from severe dehydration or sunburn. In this climate, it's the most common problem that I will probably face because it is so warm here. But the good news is, it's perfectly treatable. So here we have the white Phalaenopsis orchid I purchased some time ago. I actually found the ID and you can find it in the description below. Now this orchid had a wonderful flower display. She had 29 flowers on a flower spike. However, the leaves still look so great. They did have a few spots and I knew it suffered from some damage. However, looking at it today, we can see she's quite in a horrible state. And if you're inexperienced with orchids, this can look quite frightening. But rest assured, it's nothing super bad, although it looks bad. This orchid suffered from severe dehydration and some sunburn. You can see on the leaf that already fell, we have some sunburns here and everything else is actually damaged. And what I mean by that is that the cellular structure within the leaf was damaged to such an extent that it could not heal itself. And this is what extreme dehydration can do to orchids, not only Phalaenopsis, but orchids in general. Once the tissue is severely affected, it cannot regenerate and it will slowly die and will give you this really weird appearance that will make you think your orchid is dying. Well, it's not, because if you get to it in time, everything will be fine. So the first thing that I did for this orchid was to cut the flower spike. Now the spikes and the flowers drain a lot of energy and nutrients and resources from the mother orchid, so at this point she doesn't need that drainage. And I know many people have an issue with this, but trust me, it's the best thing to do. Now this orchid's roots were actually in very good condition, so I'm looking now to hydrate the orchid. I've potted it and I'm keeping it a little bit more moist than I usually would, in the sense that I'm not keeping it soggy, but I do water it before the medium goes completely dry. And actually she perked up slightly, but this damage is irreversible, as I was saying, so the leaves will be lost. I am now keeping this orchid in bright shade, no more direct sunshine, and this is really important. Many people place orchids in very dark spaces because they think light will actually harm them. No, light doesn't harm them, direct sunshine will. So keep this orchid in bright shade, not direct sunshine, intermediate temperatures, not hot temperatures, and if you can, increase the humidity around the orchid. You can do so by using a humidifier, a humidity tray, but not misting. A fragile orchid like this will respond badly to misting. You can cause a lot of rot. She's very sensitive. If you cannot increase the humidity by a humidifier or by placing some trays, some humidity trays, do not mist the orchid. I personally believe it's a very risky method, especially for sick orchids. Other than that, it's just a waiting game. But trust me when I tell you, they will bounce back. So let's take a look at the lower leaves. As you can see, they are quite okay, and this is because they were not touched by the sun. They were actually shaded by the ones above, who sadly suffered the most. Now, even though this orchid will indeed be set back and probably the new set of leaves will be tinier, we do still have some older leaves which are viable and they can photosynthesize. So let these leaves fall on their own, but don't touch the green leaves. Let them be. They are a tremendous help for the orchid at this stage. So care for the orchid normally as you would care for a Phalaenopsis orchid. Remember not to let the medium go completely bone dry for too many days. Right now she really needs hydration. However, don't let the medium stay soggy all the time. Try to find that perfect balance that offers ventilation and air movement and aeration to the roots, but also moisture. It can take a few weeks or a few months until you actually notice signs of growth. Depends on the orchid. I already see signs on mine. I do have some growing tips on the roots, and I also have a new leaf sprouting. So let's take a closer look. Okay, so I'm using a flashlight to show you inside. That is the new leaf sprouting. Another thing that I would like to mention, whatever you do, however you want to water this orchid, do not place water in the crown of this orchid or everything might be compromised due to crown rot. Also, try to not place any water in between the leaves, right at the joints here where the leaf meets the stem. So try to keep the orchid as dry as possible. Try to offer humidity in the air rather than misting or stuff like that. Trust me when I tell you it's very risky. And please, whatever you do, do not place a bag on top of this orchid. If there's any drop or if the humidity is actually too high and there is no ventilation, this orchid is very, very susceptible to crown rot, stem rot, and stuff like that. It's better to keep her hydrated inside the potting mix than actually to go through the trouble of misting or placing bags on top. And as a final idea, just have patience. It might take a while until this orchid will be perfectly healthy again, and it might not bloom the following season. But if you care for it properly, it will be such a rewarding journey to see her bounce back and produce a flower spike. So okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this and I hope it gave you some tips. Don't forget to rate this video below if you did like it and it helped you. And also subscribe to my channel for daily orchid and exotic plants videos. Feel free to leave me a comment anytime below, I always check them. And also you can send me a letter at the address you see on the screen and in the description below. If you click on the left side of your screen, you're gonna be directed to orchidnature.com, where you'll find care sheets, identification sheets, and also you can talk to us in the forum section. And on the right side of your screen, you can click to watch another orchid video. Thank you for joining. I'll see you next time. Bye!